What's up guys, it's Will back again, and today's review is the sci-fi horror film Annihilation. Written and directed by Alex Garland and based on the 2014 novel of the same name written by Jeff VanderMeer, Annihilation takes place in modern day and follows Lena, a biologist and former soldier played by Natalie Portman, who joins an expedition crew after her husband turns up mysteriously ill. The expedition crew attempts to enter something they have termed the Shimmer, a weird force that is expanding and changing the world around it at an alarming rate. A previous crew that included Lena's husband Kane, played by Oscar Isaac, went inside the Shimmer and only Kane returned. And now Lena and the crew plan to go inside the Shimmer themselves and figure out what's going on. Alright, so it's kind of funny actually, because when I saw the initial trailer for Annihilation, I was like, oh wow, that looks kind of amazing. And I kind of got like an Arrival vibe from it. And then the second trailer dropped and I was like, not so sure actually. It kind of looked at that point like a weird sci-fi horror studio controlled movie, which wasn't going to interest me really. And my perception of the film after seeing it is that the truth lies somewhere in between. I think that ultimately Annihilation is a pretty good movie that could have been an amazing movie. There's several things I really liked about it, which I'll obviously get into and discuss, but there's also a few things that I didn't like so much about it, and I want to discuss those first because in my opinion they hold the film back from being an amazing sci-fi movie. It almost felt like the two trailers were indicative of the two tones in the full film, and that's the reason I was actually slightly disappointed here, because Annihilation is tonally inconsistent. At times it feels like this awesome, creative, and bold sci-fi movie, and other times it feels like a standard run-of-the-mill horror film masquerading as a sci-fi film. I have no insight into the creative process at all, obviously, so this is just speculation at this point, but it just felt like there was some sort of studio influence here that was designed to make this movie more appealing to the masses. There's a handful of jump scares, there's gruesome imagery that feels like it belongs in a horror film, and this all felt like it was designed to make the movie more appealing to the general audience, especially to the horror fans. But ultimately it just ends up hurting the movie because it makes it feel like it's kind of being pulled in two different directions. And I'm not saying you can't be sci-fi and horror at the same time, you absolutely can. Under the Skin did it super well. But the mixing of two genres has to be consistent, both tonally and from a pacing perspective, and Annihilation doesn't quite pull that off. And the pacing is the other con I found with this movie. I found that as a whole, the film is paced effectively, it successively builds as the crew makes it further and further into the Shimmer, but my problem is more specific than that. I think that the film has a tendency to skim past really important moments. Maybe this was a deliberate attempt to keep the runtime down, as the movie's less than 2 hours long, but there's shocking pieces of information and terrible things that happen to various crew members, and it just sort of gets skimmed and brushed over. Like something bad and important happens, and then the characters move on like 2 minutes later and completely have forgotten about it. There's a lack of emphasis on key moments that could allow the audience to better understand and better invest, but they're sort of breezed through for whatever reason. But in terms of the negatives, that's honestly about it. As for the positives, there's definitely some things I liked about Annihilation. I think there are moments of sci-fi greatness to be found in the last half hour or so. I think this is certainly one of the more creative and unique sci-fi films that I've seen in a while, and I found myself pretty darn captivated for pretty much the entire final act. I don't think many people are going to be able to predict what's actually happening, and I like that the film surprises you and gets creative with its explanations. I think that's clearly a sign of great sci-fi content. I also thought the visuals were outstanding. I think the CG work in this film is awesome and very immersive. I think the creatures that show up look fantastic. The Shimmer itself looks super cool and very mysterious, and generally this is a very colorful film that has a lot to offer visually. There's some especially cool CG work in the last half hour or so that I won't go into obviously. Maybe in a live stream I'll discuss some spoilers if you guys want. But for now, I'll just say that some of the visuals are super creative and eerie looking, most of them actually. I think the visuals might be the best and most consistent offer Annihilation has. And that's not a knock on the film necessarily, it's just a really beautiful film to look at. I do want to give credit to the original author of the book, Jeff VanderMeer, and of course the writer-director of this film, Alex Garland, for creating something unique. I think all too often sci-fi films build around stories that aren't exactly fresh or new, but instead are sort of rehashing their predecessors. Annihilation doesn't do that. It offers something different, and it's a deviation from the status quo for this type of plot. I do wish it went all in towards this direction instead of straying towards the more general audience appeal, but I think this story is very unique and interesting as a whole. Before we recap, let's briefly discuss the acting and the characters. Now, I don't really consider the acting and the characters to be pro or con for this film. They're serviceable, everyone is fine, but no one is outstanding here. I think most of them aren't exactly asked to show a great deal of range here, and ultimately they're just kind of characters with slight personality traits in a loosely connected team. The cast is good with Natalie Portman and Tessa Thompson and Jason Leigh, among others, Oscar Isaac as well obviously, but these aren't very memorable characters. They're just alright and serviceable. I think if you go in expecting the next great Natalie Portman performance, you'll probably be disappointed. She's good here, but she's not asked to be remarkable like she has been in the past. As for the pros cons, I thought Annihilation offered a unique and eerie sci-fi story, lively and colorful visuals, and a fantastic final act and ending. As for the cons, I think the film is tonally inconsistent and the pacing is sometimes messy. Overall, I'm going to give Annihilation an 8 out of 10 and generally recommend you check it out if you're big into sci-fi. Horror fans also have content to enjoy here, obviously, so it's really best if you enjoy both genres. So did you guys see Annihilation yet? What did you think of it? And if not, let me know why not. And also let me know your favorite sci-fi film of the last 5 or so years. It's still a rival for me. I'm a sucker for that movie. That's all for now, though. This is WillFoxification signing off. See you in the next review.